Hello and welcome to Every Persona Explained, where we take a look at the origin and representation of every persona. And today, we're taking a look at Tomoe. Most people think samurai were awesome, and that's because they were. But if I asked you to name one, you'd probably struggle. At best you could say Miyamoto Musashi, the author of the Book of Five Rings, or one of the three great unifiers. But that's probably it, so let's fix that. Tomoe, or Tomoe Gozen, was a female samurai during the Ginpei War of 1180 to 1185. The Ginpei War, to put briefly, was war between the Minamoto clan and the Taira clan to see who would rule Japan. Tomoe fought for the Minamoto under Minamoto no Yoshinaka, who was maybe her husband or lover or... Okay, before we go any further, let's talk about something. The only source I was able to find of Tomoe was the Heike Monogatari, a 14th century account of the war. It doesn't tell us who her family is, or how she died, or where she's from, or really any details about her life. Just her actions during the war. I mean, technically there's an extension to the Heike Monogatari called the Denpei Josuiki that has more details, but I can't find an English translation, so I can't really work from that. Basically, Tomoe might not have existed, but I think it's a situation where she's a legendary character, a real person with stories and details attributed to them that may or may not be real, but it was possible that she was made up whole cloth for the story. Personally, I lean towards a legendary character, and that's only partially because I consider her top tier waifu material. Anyways, Tomoe is described as being beautiful, long black hair, fair skin, which seems to be a traditional Japanese beauty. In spite of this, she was also a total badass. Tomoe was extremely skilled with the sword and bow, and was unparalleled on horseback. She fought in a number of battles, and was said to be worth 1,000 warriors, and it said that she was, quote, fit to meet either god or devil, which is one hell of a resume. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and her final battle was at Awazu in 1184. Her lord's forces were devastated in the battle, leaving only 5 soldiers, including Tomoe. Her lord Yoshinaka told Tomoe to flee, as dying with a woman would be shameful, which, seriously bro? She puts in all this work for you and you say that? Psh, men. Anyways, Tomoe decides that she wants one more fight, so she finds a worthy opponent, a samurai by the name of Ondo no Hachiro Moroshige of Musashi, had names to him, rides up to him, grapples with him, pulls him off his horse, and cuts off his head. Man, what are the odds that my first 2 videos both contain decapitation? Weird. After that, she flees east, and that's all the Heike has to say about her. I did find a few other stories about what happened to her after the battle, though. One says she was captured by a samurai named Wada Yoshimori and was forced to be his wife/concubine, which I call shenanigans on. Tomoe was way too hardcore for that to happen. Another says that she became a Buddhist nun and died at age 90, which is more believable depending on the sect of Buddhism. And the last one, and my personal favorite, is that she decided that the best path for her would be revenge, and that she went on and killed all of Yoshinaka's enemies. Unfortunately, I can't find where any of these are sourced from, so I can't say which one is the most correct, but like I said, I have my favorites. So that's top tier samurai waifu Tomoe Gozen. But how's the representation? While this does look odd, there's some good stuff here. Starting with her long black hair. It's the first thing mentioned in the Heike, and is a major element in most depictions of her. Now, what's going on with that helmet? It looks like someone took a motorcycle helmet and stuck a rhino horn on it. Well, it could be one of 2 things. This is an eboshi, a type of hat that was worn almost exclusively by men, with various styles depending on the time period and rank. I say almost exclusively because there are multiple depictions of Tomoe wearing an eboshi. The other option is it may be based on samurai kabuto, or helmets. While initially simple, being for protection and identification, kabuto eventually evolved to have various crests and ornaments, being more ostentatious and flashy. And once the Sengoku Jidai rolled around, they'd gotten way out of control, and I absolutely love it. The skirt is a kusuzuri, albeit an exaggerated one, which is the armored skirt found on traditional samurai armor sets like the Oyoroi. And then we have her weapon. This is a naginata, a traditional Japanese polearm. While I can't find any mention of double-ended naginatas like this one, probably because they're a lot cooler looking than they are effective, naginata were weapons favored by samurai for their long reach. They're also heavily associated with female warriors, and while the Heike doesn't mention her using one, there's even a style of naginata named after Tomoe. The Kill Bill jumpsuit, I don't really know. Maybe the designer just liked the movie. All in all, I'd say, pretty good rep. Tomoe is categorized in the Chariot Arcana. When drawn upright, Chariot represents willpower, determination, and self-discipline. If that doesn't describe Tomoe, then I don't know what does. When drawn reversed, however, it represents a lack of direction, powerlessness, and helplessness. Now this really doesn't describe Tomoe, but it does describe her persona user Chie and her story in Persona 4. Her moveset is primarily physical moves like Skullcracker, Gale Slash, also the 3 counter passives. She also gets ice moves, probably to make sure there was a party member with each element, but Tomoe was ice cold. I mean, did you hear what she did to that guy with the too long name? So that fits well too. Her moves in the Q games are pretty similar. Q1 forgoes ice moves altogether, focusing almost exclusively on physical moves like Sonic Punch and Brain Shake. Q2 has a grand total of 2 ice-related abilities and fills out the rest of the moveset with physical moves like Herculean Strike and Vorpal Blade, and buffing moves like Ambush Arts and Critical Eye. Overall, I think they've done a good job representing her with a modern twist. The only way I could think of to make it better was if they put her on a bike, but as we know, they're saving that for the next game. Thank you very much for watching. Did I get anything wrong? Did I leave anything out? And who should be next? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Every Persona Explained.